So we are going to take one project parallelly. We are going to integrate all the topics of this particular course into one real-time project. Basically, we want to take one clone for the Stack Overflow website. Means we are going to build one application which is very similar to the stackoverflow.com website. The basic concept of this stackoverflow.com website is questions and answers. So one user has asked one question for example, and there may be a number of people who can answer it. So the other people may answer it. And those answers also may be good, maybe may not be good. If it is good, different other users will upvote it. Means they will give like a thumbs up, upvote. Otherwise, they will give downvote. So if the answer is getting more number of upvotes, that is to be considered as a correct answer. What you can say, good answer. So other people can follow it just like that. Like this, every user is having privilege to ask any question related to any topic, and other people can answer it. If the user is getting more number of upvotes for his answers, then he will get more number of votes. Based on the votes, he will get more number of jobs. The companies will offer the job to the user based on the number of upvotes he is getting. So this is the systematic way we have created. So this is the concept running based on which the stackoverflow.com is presently running. So we are trying to build a clone for this. Actually, in the real website, lot of options are available, but we are not trying to build a complete website because it will take huge time to create the complete application. At least the major functionality of that. At least the user can register, login, can ask some questions, other people can answer, and voting can be increased, upvote, downvote, etc. Okay, this type of things we are trying to have. So, for example, if you just click on some particular question, for example, okay, this is the very recent question and it's not having any answers. Let's go with something else like so this is just recently posted, maybe it is saying 16 minutes ago, 17 minutes ago, something like that. And the number of views also they are counting, how many times the particular question is opened. For example, if we click on this one, so this is the question and this is the answer. No, this itself is a question. Okay, this itself is a question and this will be one answer. We got one answer. So for this answer may get upward or downward. For example, as a user, you may feel that this answer is correct and good. So you may upvote it. This is much like a like button in Facebook. If you feel that this answer is not good, you can just downvote it. Okay. So I think most of you have used this particular stackoverflow.com website at least a few times, right? When you have doubts or problems, you will be searching in Google. Immediately will get the answer in from which website? Mostly stackoverflow.com website, mostly, right? So any developer could be generally aware of this particular one. So our project screens are planned like this. Just this is the home page of the our application. So if the user has entered the URL home/index, we can assume like anything for this. Just this URL is we can give anything. I'm just assuming home/index. That means http localhost 4200 home/index. That's what the full URL. If it is so, we are trying to open the home page like this, and Stack Overflow logo here, and home page, home. I mean, this should be highlighted because it is currently opened. Login registered hyperlinks also should be appear in this corner. And just below that, some list of questions. Most recently opened questions should be displayed. See, when open our website also, most recently opened questions are opened. Suppose this last question was 41 seconds ago. Okay, recently, latest questions should be displayed in a descending order. So how many votes for that particular question? And this one number of votes we will calculate based on the number of votes given to its answers. For example, there is one question and it has 10 answers. Each answer has 2 upvotes. So 10 into 2, 20 votes, right? So the 20 votes should be displayed here for the question. And next, answers. How many questions this? How many answers this question has? By default, it will be 0. If anyone user has answered it, the count will increase, and so on. Next, how many times this question is viewed by different users? The count also we have to maintain. And here the actual question should be displayed, and its category should be displayed here, like it is related to which topic. See here also, for example, this is the question, and just below that we have a category for that. For example, difference between completely and non-trivial something is there, right? So just below that, database. It's related to which topic? Database topic. The topic name. The topic name itself is a category here, because there may be a number of questions like suppose Java related, .NET related, Angular related, React, a number of different topics. So we have to maintain this one as a separate table also actually. And a date and time of the question when the question is created. So this is the home page for us. And once the user click on login, this login page has to be opened. Same header bar repeats, and here login. Here login is being highlighted because login is currently open. So email address and password, this you can understand easily. Much explanation not required. And once the user can log in, he can able to open the questions and he can answer, he can see the other answers, he can ask the new questions, etc. Also we have a register button. When he click on register button, this registration form needs to be appear, includes email, password, mobile. We can increase the number of fields maybe if required. And after login or after registration, this new question should be open. Question/index. This page has to be open. Here also same questions to be displayed just like the home page, but the difference is here we have the current working username displayed and logout button here. New question also should be appear. If you click on new question, he will be able to add the new question also. And if we click on any one question, for example, if you click on this one, for example, the same question details should be open here. So for that question, how many answers? And for each answer, upward, downward. This symbol is for upward, this is for downward. For this answer. Same way for this answer, another upward, downward. And this number is coming from upwards minus downwards. Suppose it has 10 upwards and 2 downwards. So the difference is 8. That difference number should be appear. And this is the date and time of the question when it is asked, and this is the date and time of the each answer. And the question has totally 10 views, and this is the user who posted this particular answer. This is the user who posted this question. And the current working user who logged in right now, he can add one new answer. Okay, so all the system we are trying to build. Of course, some other screens also may come, like we can add the new question, we can edit the question. Okay, this type of things may come. And also there should be one page for category maintenance. Any user can add the new category, whatever he wish. Okay, this type of things are available. So on the go, some more number of pages may come. So overall, this is the look and feel of this. So I hope you understand the concept of this application. So this application we are trying to build by the end of this course. So by completing this course, you will be able to understand all these things. So different topics we are going to integrate in this routing topic, forms, validations, different things we are trying to build up in this same application. So that it will be more interesting for you. At the same time, it will be some useful for real time for your jobs or for interview questions also. So now first let's build up the home page. And basically we have different pages, right? So we should create some navigation mechanism like home page, next some login page, next some registration page. Through hyperlinks, the people should be able to navigate. So this navigation mechanism we have to build. The navigation mechanism can be built by using the routing mechanism. So routing is a process of creating, it's a process of creating navigation mechanism for the application. What is the meaning of navigating mechanism? So see this one. We have one page first. Next, if you click on login button, we have another page, and so on. We should have a navigation mechanism, right? And also there should be some mapping between the URL and the corresponding page, right? Here each page should not be a separate HTML file, just should be a separate component. Every page should be component. For example, login form is login component, registration form is registration component. Each page is nothing but one component. Each page is treated as a component. And routing mechanism is mapping between URL and component. So for which URL, which component we have to build, that mappings we have to create. That mappings are created by using which one? Routing. So basically we are expecting two initial pages. First we are expecting home/index, which is the home page of our application. Next home/login and home/register. These three are the basic pages that we are expecting. So these three basic pages are under one particular group. So we can assume the group is like a home group, right? Okay, home group, that you can say home route. The group is nothing but home route. Inside that, some child routes also may be there. Child routes. What the child routes? Index, login, register. And each route will be mapped to any one component. So for example, home route is mapped to, okay, for this separate one is not required. Okay, this one, like home component. So once we enter into the index route, it has to go to home component. And login route, this one is having login component. Register route, this one is having register component. So whenever we enter into this particular route, this component should be opened. Just we are mapping. And also second section is the questions route. This one, next level, questions route, questions/index, questions/view, and also questions/new. So question slash index, question slash view, question slash new. So questions component, view component, questions index component, questions view component, questions new component. Means new question component in fact. Okay, these are the components we have to create. Let's create all these components first. Let's start the process by creating all these components, whatever we are expecting as of now. In future, some more number of components may increase. Just don't worry about remaining. So as of our assumption, we have to take these 6 components. So whichever the components we want, we have to create them. By default, when you create the application, we are getting only one component, that is the app component itself. Don't consider that as a component because it's a primary mandatory, that is a, well, what you can say, the root level component. The big tree structure, the root is a app component. So don't include the app component in this structure. So keep that app component. Apart from that, we have to create these remaining components. So let's create them. So take one command prompt, cd, very important, cd that particular folder like SQL and Angular 6 in app1. So once you make sure that particular folder is located, then the command would be ngg, g for generating. We are trying to generate a component. What is the name of the component? Home component we are trying to generate. So here this is the name of the component. And the suffix component at the right hand side will be added automatically, no need to worry about it. Okay, home component, for example, it will be like home.component, automatically it will create. So just from your side, you have to provide only home. It will be decoded as a home component automatically. So learn the command ng means hey Angular, g generate. Please generate a component for me. Please generate a component for me. What is the component? Home component we are trying to generate. So just in few seconds, the component files will be created. For every component, 4 files are exist. One is a home.component.ts file, which contain the actual class for the home component. And every component must be associated to one template, right? The template is a home.component.html file. And for every component, we can write some unit test cases. The unit test cases are written in the home.component.spec.ts. We will talk about the unit testing later in the further chapters. So maybe in the second half of the course. So don't much worry about it. And every component may have a special CSS styles. So that should be in the home.component.css. If the CSS styles are related to entire application, that application related CSS files you can place in the styles.css, which is present here. Okay, this one. So in case if it is related to the particular component, then we have to go to the relevant components related CSS file. Okay, so these are the things. And app.module.ts updated. So what exactly happens here? First, home folder is created. In the home folder, as I said already, home.component.ts, home.component.spec.ts, home.component.html, home.component.css gets created. So presently home.component.spec.ts file we need not consider because it's only for unit testing. So it has already some default code. Just ignore it, close it. Only remaining home.component.ts and HTML and CSS, only these 3 files. So simple, some content we are writing in this HTML file. Its related CSS files we are writing here. Mainly, first of all, the component needs to be created. That is done in the component.ts file. Here is a component, home component. I told right the suffix component will be added automatically. And here is a CSS file name, HTML file name, and every component is associated to some tag. like app home. We can change this tag name. With this tag name only we can call it. Okay, next let's create a few more components. No, one more thing before than that. app.module.ts just a file updated. What updated here? Automatically this statement and this statement gets added. See, every time when you create the new component, this statement needs to be added. Fortunately, Angular CLI automatically adding these lines of code in your existing application. So import home component from which file under home folder, home.component.ts. .ts it will take automatically, and we have to mention that we have to maintain that as a part of this module. How to make the component as a part of this module? By mentioning it in the declarations. So in the previous lessons I told that the list of components that are members of this module should be mentioned as a declarations. In other words, declarations contain the list of components, directives or pipes that are members of this current working module. So we have mentioned here app component and a home component. What is the meaning of that? This app module contains two components. One is app component and the other one is a home component. Okay, something like that. Okay, next let's continue this process by creating the remaining components also. So if you can continue ngg component, already we have created a home component. So login component we are trying to create, register and so on. What are the components we want, we can just create them. Questions is view component. Oh, sorry, this word component automatically will add now. Just a minute. So by mistake, if you add some component, we can just delete it. The folder you can delete here. See, it has a folder with some files, right? For every component, separate folder. That folder we can delete, and also these statements also we can delete them. Okay, that's enough. So next, so this word component will add automatically. Questions new. So all the components, whatever we are expecting, all created here. You can just notice. So in every statement of this, just to first we are mentioning the class name here, followed by file name. Class name followed by file name. And notice except app component, every other components will be placed in the separate folder. Like, for example, home component is placed under one separate folder called home. Like in the same way, login, questions index, everything is created as a separate folder name. That folder name also we can see here: home, login folder, registered folder, questions index folder. Like this, for every component, separate folder is created. And we have to just mention the class names only here. In the declarations, we have to mention only class names, not the folder names. Okay, above folder name / file name, below only class name. So now we have created as many components as you wish. Suppose you, just for example, you want to display all the components together in the app component. So go to the app component template, that is app.component.html. So here we are trying to have one separator like HR, because previous example, just login username, this example we have created now. So they are just below the heading, below the horizontal ruler, we want to display all these components. First, which component? Home component you want to display, for example. So go to the home component and ask the home component, hey, home component, what is your selector? What is our selector? Because through the selector only we can invoke the component. We can decide the place where exactly it should be appear. Hey, home component, what is your selector? It is answering app hyphen home. Of course, it's a default selector. We can change it. We can write a ABC, anything in this place. We can change it, okay? Now we have to mention the same in the app.component.html file. So app-home. That's it. This will invoke the home. In other words, we are saying we are deciding the place where exactly the home component should be appear. So check the output parallelly. Open the browser and give like a localhost 4200. Now we can see home works. What exactly happened is simple, really simple. Home.component.html template available, right? This template will be rendered here. That's it. The process is first app component execution started. The whole page is represented as one component at the root level, that is app component. Okay. Inside the app component, exactly in this place, when we write like app home, since it is a custom tag, it is not a ordinary HTML tag. So from here, it will go to the corresponding component where that selector is registered. App-home select is registered in which component? Home component. So it will go to this particular component. It will create one object for this home component automatically, internally. Then immediately it will go to the corresponding template. So this template will be opened. Already it is like home works. So this content is being displayed in the original place where exactly we have invoked it. So in this place we can assume that home works paragraph here. So the same happened here. We can also check like this. Inside the app home, the paragraph home works added. And now we can notice the current structure is like this. So first level we have app component. So inside the app component related template, as a part of that, we are displaying the home component. Even though theoretically app component, home component are independent, when it comes to execution perspective, since we have called home component inside the app component, those become parent and child, right? See, first level, root level app, which component? App component. In the index.html file perspective, only one component exists, that is the app component. Okay, app root is nothing but what? Selector of the app component, right? So root level app component only exists. But inside the app component, we are calling which component? Home component. Since the home component is executing inside the app component, you can say root level, outer level is the app component, inside that home component. But you can have another components also, right? For example, next one, login component we are trying to display. So login component. So here login component related template content will appear here, and so on. We can have a number of. So what you can say? Can we say one component can have other components? So this app component become as a parent. All these are the remaining children, child components. Parent component, child components. One parent component may have other child components. And here the surprising point is even child component also may have other child components, right? For example, you are the parent of your children and you are the child of your parent. So are you the parent or child? You are both. From which perspective you are asking? If you talk about your child, you are the parent. If you talk about your parents, you are the child. Like that, one child may have other child also if required. Suppose here another component, here another component. We can create up to unlimited number of levels. Again, that also may have another child again. So that will be unlimited number of nested levels. And here we are calling the parent and child only based on how they are invoked at runtime, not depend on how they created. It's not about inheritance topic. In the object-oriented programming, inheritance, I mean parent class, child class, that perspective is different. Here, based on the based on the sequence, how they are invoked in what place, depends on that point we are trying to say whether it is a parent or child. If invoking is not done, no parent, no child, it's just an independent component. Okay, so here for sure app component is a parent, home component is a child in this example. So similarly, we are trying to invoke the remaining. So that is a registered component. Any guess the selector? It would be mostly it will be app register. Of course, you can change it. If you have any doubt, you can check. Go to registered folder. There you have the registered component.ts file. There definitely the selector we can see. And of course, you can change it if you don't like it. So once we save this automatically, it will refresh. The moment when you're saving the code in this file, automatically it will refresh. Okay, and so on. Just we can continue the remaining. So we have login, register, questions index, questions view, questions new, sorry, I've overwritten, view, questions new, okay, so all the components work together. Some error it is saying, what is that? Just questions new. Yeah, there is one hyphen also, questions hyphen index it is saying. Notice it is saying like a questions hyphen new. So hyphen also we have to add. So just all together, all the components worked. So what you can say, you can go to the relevant component. There we can edit some content, right? For example, this is here is some list of questions. So just once you save it, automatically it will refresh. Like this, what are the content we want, we can just add. We can even remove this paragraph. We can overwrite with a complete different content. But no need of placing HTML head, the body, such a full syntax because it's already done in the index.html. All these n number of components, whatever we have invoked, indirectly inserted into index.html. At the very root level, only index.html only exists. See, all these child components are being inserted into app component. That app component is embedding into index.html. At the root level, only index.html exists. So don't place the HTML head body once again in the child components. Okay, this is what we have done. So in this lesson, we have just understood how the multiple components can be created, how we invoke the child components. So in the next lesson, we are trying to understand about the routing process. What you can say navigation mechanism we are expecting, right? Suppose some HTML hyperlinks. Through hyperlinks, we are navigating from one page to other page as we expected here. Okay, we want something like login means login page, registered means registration page. This type of functionality we are trying to implement.